Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore, the greatest wizard of all time, the beloved Hogwarts headmaster. He is no doubt the most influential character from Harry Potter series, who transcended beyond the books and movies and means so much more to fans, a symbol of hope, love, and kindness. Dumbledore, portrayed as the wise headmaster of Hogwarts in the movies, smeared by the likes of Rita Skeeter as a flawed genius, hated by his own brother Aberforth, who called him selfish, and claimed to be sinister by many fan theories. In this video, we will uncover what was the true nature of the long and complex life of Professor Dumbledore. His story begins in the village of Mould-on-the-Wold, where he was born in 1881 and was living with his family. His parents Percival and Kendra, a younger brother Aberforth, and his youngest sister Ariana. He was a half-blood, his mother being a muggle-born witch. He was having a normal childhood, but then something happened in the year 1891 when he was 10 years old that changed the life of Dumbledore family forever. Young Ariana, who was 6 years old, was playing outside. As it happens with many children, she performed some magic without knowing. There was a group of muggle kids who saw it. Frightened by what they saw, they attacked her. This traumatized her to such an extent that her magic got suppressed inside her, and she turned into an Obscurial. The Obscurial is a young witch or wizard who develops Obscurus, an unstable, uncontrollable dark force that busts out and attacks and then vanishes. Percival Dumbledore was heartbroken and set out in search of his own brand of justice. He located the Muggle boys and attacked them. For this, he was sentenced life imprisonment in Azkaban. He chose the sentence over explaining the reason behind the attack, because if people knew about Ariana's condition, she would have to spend the rest of her life in St. Mungo's hospital. To escape the accusing eyes of the local community, Kendra moved her young family to Godric's Hollow. There, they started living in isolation to avoid anyone from discovering about Ariana, and Albus learned not to mention his sister or father in public. Next year in 1892, Albus received his Hogwarts invitation. He began attending the school and was sorted into Gryffindor House. His first year was met with much whispering about his father's crime. Many of his fellow students mistakenly believed him to be a Muggle hater, just like his father. He befriended a young Elphias Doge on his first day at Hogwarts. Doge was suffering from the aftermath of dragonpox at the time, greenish skin and pockmarks, which discouraged most from approaching him. Dumbledore, however, demonstrated his uncommon kindness and willingness to look past the surface and find inner beauty in people. By the end of his first year, he was never again known as the son of a Muggle hater, but as nothing less than the most brilliant student ever seen at the school. Being the single most outstanding student in the school at the time, he was made both a prefect during his 5th year and head boy in his 7th. Over the course of his school career, he won the Barnabas Finkley Prize for exceptional spellcasting, became the British youth representative to the Wizengamot, and received the gold medal for groundbreaking contribution to the International Alchemical Conference in Cairo. In addition, Dumbledore also became very well connected during his Hogwarts years, making notable friends such as Nicholas Flamel. After graduating from Hogwarts in 1899, Dumbledore planned to take the traditional grand tour of the world with his friend Elphias Doge. However, tragedy ensued on the eve of the departure when his mother was killed by an outburst of Ariana's uncontrollable magic, leaving Albus the head of his own broken family and now in charge of his younger siblings. Albus returned to Godric's Hollow, full of bitter resentment at his situation, feeling trapped and wasted. Although he refused to let Aberforth quit school and insisted he complete his education first, before taking care of Ariana. Fortune finally shined on Dumbledore when a foreigner arrived at their village by the name of Gellert Grindelwald. In the summer of 1899, Albus was introduced to Gellert by his great-aunt, the celebrated magical historian Bathilda Bagshot. Thrilled to realize that the newcomer was every bit as brilliant as himself, the two young men took to each other right away and quickly struck up a close friendship. Unified by the revelation of Grindelwald's research into the existence and whereabouts of the fabled Deathly Hallows, Dumbledore also became fascinated by Grindelwald's ideas of wizarding domination, considering Grindelwald an unexpected new chance to show his own brilliance and come out of his trapped existence. Over the course of the 2 months that Grindelwald stayed in Godric's Hollow, the two young men's friendship became romantic, with Albus ignoring any misgivings he had about Gellert's dark intentions. By convincing himself the revolution they were planning to embark on was truly for the greater good, and that any harm caused would be repaid 1,000-fold after its conclusion. At the peak of their friendship, Dumbledore and Grindelwald created a blood pact, which forbidden both of them to fight against each other. Sometime between Albus and Gellert's relationship, Aberforth also fell in love with a girl from Godric's Hollow, and their relationship led to her becoming pregnant with Aberforth's child. However, the girl was sent away, presumably by her family, and Aberforth wouldn't see his son again. Albus was aware of rumors that there was a child from the relationship, but he never knew for sure as the distance between the brothers resulted in Aberforth not confiding in or seeking Albus's help with the situation. Near the end of the summer, after Albus and Gellert both completely knew and agreed upon everything, with their blood pact in hand, they had plans to start a global wizarding war and to force Muggles into subservience with full intent on becoming the great leaders of the revolution. Aberforth knew he had to stay behind for his sister Ariana. With his brother about to leave, Aberforth had to stop him from leaving him and their sister. He confronted them one night. Aberforth and Gellert yelled and made countless threats, and Aberforth drew his wand. Grindelwald used Cruciatus Curse on him. Albus realized then how horrible a person Grindelwald truly was, and stepped in to defend his younger brother. A three-way duel broke out between Gellert Grindelwald, Albus Dumbledore, and Aberforth Dumbledore. Ariana ran down the stairs to see what was happening and to try to help, but did not know what she was doing and was inadvertently killed. It was not clear who had casted the spell that hit Ariana, but it did not matter to Albus because he blamed himself for the rest of his life. Grindelwald fled the scene immediately, while Albus and Aberforth both rushed towards their sister's body and cried in regret and pity. Soon after, they held a funeral for Ariana, at which Aberforth punched and broke Albus's nose out of pure anger and sadness at what he had done. Albus did not repair his nose through magic when it was possible, and lived with a crooked nose all his life, as a reminder of his greatest regret. Shortly thereafter, Dumbledore traveled to France and spent some time in Paris studying the ancient art and science of alchemy under the mentorship of Nicolas Flamel. He presumably did so in order to both give his brother some space, as well as to get away for a bit and spend his time grieving more productively than simply wallowing in his own misery. After some time, he returned to Britain. He became intrigued with the study of dragon's blood, and was ultimately credited with the discovery of 12 uses of dragon's blood, an accomplishment that earned him widespread recognition and played a role in the subsequent offer he received of a teaching position at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Dumbledore returned to Hogwarts Castle as a teacher. Burdened by the secret knowledge of Grindelwald's imminent rise to power and wanting to rectify past mistakes, he took up the job of Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, a position in which he could prepare his students for the dangers he knew one day would come. Henceforth, he would come to be known to successive generations of students as Professor Dumbledore. A series of devastating attacks was started by Gellert Grindelwald and his followers across Europe, and rumors began circulating that Grindelwald had acquired a wand of immense power, which Dumbledore understood to be the Elder Wand. Dumbledore came to know that Grindelwald had had a vision. He had seen a powerful Obscurus kill the man he feared above all else, Albus Dumbledore. Even though the pact they had made all those years ago not to fight one another, had ultimately worked in Grindelwald's favor by effectively preventing Albus from coming after him. It was clear that he still feared that Dumbledore might find a way to overcome it and move against him. Aware that Dumbledore was possibly the only wizard alive capable of bringing an end to Grindelwald's reign of terror, he attempted the recruitment of the Obscurial. In 1926, Dumbledore heard about a series of magical disturbances that were causing severe devastation throughout the city of New York that risked the exposure of the wizarding world. He guessed it was the work of a powerful Obscurial. He knew Grindelwald would try to locate him, so he contacted his old student, Newt Scamander, who had become a magizoologist and had been traveling throughout the world, locating and rescuing magical creatures. It turned out that his confidence in Newt's character and ability was well placed. Newt's involvement resulted not only in the discovery of Credence Barebone, the most powerful Obscurial ever recorded, and the only one to survive into adulthood, but also in the capture of Grindelwald. Though in 1927 Grindelwald escaped the prison, Dumbledore, knowing that he would not be able to fight him due to their blood pact, met with Newt and asked for help. After Newt put together a team of chosen wizards, Dumbledore showed them the destination of their journey. The Walk of the Chillin ceremony was to be held in Bhutan to elect a new Supreme Mugwump. During the ceremony, Grindelwald used the magically bewitched Chillin, which bowed to him, making him the new Supreme Mugwump. But Newt exposed him with the help of Credence, who had learned from Dumbledore that Grindelwald had lied to him, and he was the son of Aberforth Dumbledore. Out of anger, Grindelwald cast a killing curse at Credence, which was deflected by Albus and Aberforth. The deflected curse destroyed the Blood Pact. It could only be broken if their spells met without intent to attack one another. The vial was destroyed, because neither Dumbledore nor Grindelwald thought of attacking each other. One wanted to kill someone, the other wanted to defend. Once the Blood Pact ended, Dumbledore defeated Grindelwald in what was considered to be the most epic duel of all time, and became the owner of the Elder Wand. So, that's it for this video. In the second part, we will see how Professor Dumbledore met Tom Riddle, his rise to become Lord Voldemort, and how Dumbledore led the resistance that ultimately defeated him. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe to our channel to watch the next part, and more such interesting content. Let us know your opinion and suggestions for new video topics in the comments down below. See you in the next video. Till then, mischief managed.